Nicola Sturgeon is calling for more Scottish spending powers over fears the coronavirus economic fallout in Scotland will be worse than elsewhere in the UK. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon said Holyrood's fiscal powers must be extended to tackle the impact of the coronavirus pandemic, which echoed a Scottish independence plot by SNP. SNP MP Andrew Wilson has put together a revised economic case for Scottish independence, which includes extending spending powers to Holyrood. He calls for the Treasury to look into transformational new borrowing powers to tackle Scotland's economic crisis and said ministers at Holyrood should be able to issue large-scale bonds to rejuvenate industries crippled by the COVID-19 crisis. Echoing these same plans, Ms. Sturgeon said, "Conversations with the Treasury are ongoing on a whole range of things. We have made clear that the current fiscal powers of the Scottish Parliament are probably not sufficient to deal with the reality now and into the future of this crisis. So we want to have constructive discussions about how we change these powers in order to better equip us, and that would be an ongoing discussion." But Scottish Tory MP Murdo Fraser attacked the SNP and said the Scottish economy would only survive the crisis due to the financial strength of the UK. He told Scotsman, "Scotland's economy will only survive this unprecedented crisis because of the financial strength of the UK." In addition, the SNP's fiscal record is laughable. From their inability to grow the tax base, to the billion-pound black hole in the public finances, the SNP has no credibility left. The SNP are only calling for more borrowing powers because they maxed out Scotland's existing borrowing limits, leaving nothing in reserve for a rainy day. Now, when crisis hits, there's nothing left to fall back on. Whatever the case for more borrowing powers, they wouldn't be needed if the SNP had shown more prudence in the good times. Her remarks come after Mhairi Spowage, deputy director of the Fraser of Allender Institute think tank, warned Scotland is more at risk of having a more severe impact than the UK as a whole. She said the North Sea oil and gas industry had been severely impacted by COVID-19, which would trigger a significant impact on the economy of Scotland as people across the world stay at home, with trade body Oil and Gas UK warning up to 20,000 jobs could lost. Ms. Spowage said the hospitality and tourism sector is more prevalent in Scotland than the UK as whole, so there is likely to be more impact. Speaking to MSPs on Holyrood's Finance Committee, Ms. Spowage added, "More importantly, these industries are just so key for particular parts of Scotland, so there is likely to be quite a big regional impact, particularly in the Highlands and Islands and these sorts of areas who rely heavily on tourism and hospitality spending." Economics expert Ms. Spowage warned ministers at Holyrood they may potentially have to deprioritise spending in some areas as they deal with the fallout.